Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And today I want to talk some more about my recent hands-on time. If you guys caught my impressions video, you'll know I had a chance to go to the Pokemon offices recently and go hands-on with Pokemon Scarlet for a short period of time. During that, I got to explore the world, test out some new gameplay mechanics, and basically get a feel for what the game has to offer, admittedly in a short time frame. So today I want to talk about 7 things that I saw during my hands-on time. So if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know what you're most excited to test out in the new Pokemon games, and do be sure to keep it locked because we will have more stuff coming your way closer to launch. But to begin with, in at number 1, character customization. Honestly, I really do like this one. Over the past years, there have of course been more customization options for characters, but admittedly you typically start with a somewhat pre-baked character, and customization tends to present itself more so in the clothes and items that you can obtain. But in Scarlet and Violet, the customization has gone further. There are more choices for eyes, for eyebrows, for eye color, for hairstyles, different things like that. It's also worth noting that hairstyles and basically sort of any of the customization features are not gender locked, so you can pick and choose things based on what you like. And of course, outside of that, there is the option to go to the typical clothes stores, lots of different things to choose from. So definitely on the customization front, Scarlet and Violet has got plenty. The next thing I got to explore, of course, was the free exploration. This is something that I really do enjoy, and I feel like it better embodies the fantasy of Pokemon. The ability to just simply walk around the world, go wherever you want. Admittedly, in my time playing, I was only allowed to explore a small region, but when you open up the map, you can of course see there is a ton of stuff to do, tons of places to go, and of course, when you have the legendary, I got to play and I got to ride Koraidon, but the footage I got provided with shows Miraidon. But basically, when you have these, you can of course, ride around the world, you can climb cliff faces, you can soar using your wings. So basically you have the freedom to explore in a way that you kind of haven't really been able to do in Pokemon games before. It definitely sort of takes some of the awesome exploration elements of Arceus, but then opens that up into an even more open playing field. So exploration generally does feel really awesome, and again, definitely does sort of do a good job of embodying that Pokemon fantasy. In line with that, there is of course also the auto battles. Again, I know this is not something that everyone is a huge fan of, but personally I really did like it. Admittedly, at the core of Pokemon are the battles, and of course you can still engage with Pokemon battles in the conventional sense. You can still walk into Pokemon, you can still encounter trainers as you're sort of walking around the world, although it is worth noting the sort of catch in the eye of the trainer has actually changed this time around. Instead, you will need to go up to them and interact with them in order to initiate a battle, but those things do still exist. However, for those times where you are sort of trying to get from point A to point B, and you don't necessarily want to have to engage in every single battle, but you kind of still want to benefit from some of the XP gains, then you can throw out your Pokemon for the auto battles. It is worth noting this is not a guaranteed victory. It's not just an easy mode for Pokemon. You can definitely still have Pokemon get KO'd through this, and I definitely experienced that myself. So it's not just designed to be a sort of press this button to win mode, but admittedly it does of course make things more streamlined and does allow you to sort of maintain a slightly more fast-paced flow, which again is pretty awesome. But do keep in mind this is optional. Nobody is forcing you to use this mode, so if you don't like it, want the traditional format, you can still run into pretty much everything you encounter. In addition to this, we also got to test out the picnics, which of course is a fun sort of little feature. You can open up a picnic at any point, you then throw out all your Pokemon and they are around sort of having a great time. During that, you can then make sandwiches, interact with your Pokemon, do loads of fun things. This was of course a nice little sort of side thing, which you can then also do in multiplayer. Speaking of which, multiplayer is awesome. This is something else we got to experience during the hands-on time, having the ability to load in with 3 other friends for a party of 4 and simply explore the world to your heart's content. You can go absolutely anywhere. Is really awesome. The fact you're not tied to each other, one person could go off on a completely different objective if they wanted to, or you can just roam around together. If you all have your legendaries, you can also fly around together, motorcycle together, whatever you want to do. It honestly is really awesome, and this definitely is, in my opinion, so far one of the coolest iterations of multiplayer in a Pokemon game, or at least from what I got to experience so far. In addition to this, we had the raid battles, the Tera raid battles. They're actually really cool this time around because, of course, if you guys have played raid battles in something like Sword and Shield, then you will know that, you worked around a sort of turn-based system. Meanwhile, this time around, they work around a sort of timer system, and everybody actually attacks on their own timers. So basically, you don't have to wait for the next person to take their turn. You instead queue up continuous attacks. There is, of course, still a pause. It's not a real-time battle, so to speak, but you are not held up by other players. Also, during battles, you have the ability to obviously attack. You can terrestrialize, but you can also use cheer. So if there are strategic times where you want to buff or defend or heal your team, you can also do that as well. But given that it works around a timer, you do want to sort of keep up the pressure, and once you attack a few times, you get the ability to terrestrialize, which is important at certain phases because during some of the battles, when the enemy Pokemon terrestrializes, then you're going to need to be in that state to break its shield. So these definitely did feel a lot more sort of fast-paced, fun, and dynamic. And then to round it all out, of course, photo mode is always a welcome addition. Ability to sort of run around, take pictures, take selfies, all that good stuff. Got to experience that as well while I was playing, and that is always nice to sort of add that to your photo album. So for the time being, that's sort of rundown on a few things I got to experience whilst I was playing Pokemon Scarlet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments down below. If you missed some of the recent videos, be sure to check out one of these ones and keep it locked for plenty more.